Okay, this is a quick review of my Laotie Ti30 Chinese e-scoot. This thing's pretty sweet. I've done a couple modifications to it. I added a new fog light, and also I inversed these domes here so that they're more of an even type of light coming off of them. Also, I got a new handlebar. It's got a Renthal stem thing right here, and then these are Bontrager handlebars, much more stable than the stock ones. I recommend getting something a little bit wider because the stock ones are really flimsy because they fold in the middle. I wouldn't really plan on folding this thing up anyways, but yeah, this thing's pretty sweet. I have 207.5 miles on it. Just cruising around. If you're going fast, like all the time, the real working range is like about 30 miles. You can push it to 35, but you really shouldn't because the battery, you really shouldn't go that low. So I would say 30 miles. I did do 35 to see if I needed to limp it home, how many miles I could get out of the battery before it started freaking out. And what happens when it freaks out, when the battery's really low, the front motor kicks out and you only get rear motor, and it's really slow. So it's in some kind of limp mode. You can't go more than like 5 miles per hour. So I only did that once to see what I can get away with. These screws right here, these need to be tightened really good. I would even replace them with some of that black hardware that you can get from like Home Depot, because this is made out of some really crappy steel. Also, there's a bolt right here that goes through the bottom. It's a 10 millimeter nut. It's made out of basically cheese metal, and you need to replace that nut, and you need to temper the shaft that goes down here. You can temper it with a torch and just dip it in any kind of oil. It makes the metal on the threads a lot harder so they don't strip that easily, and you can have a lot more clamping load on this folding mechanism. Not too much though, because there's a plastic bushing here. Also recommend just putting some lube on all these parts inside here. I just have some kind of like bike chain grease. I just dropped it in there, and it goes in and fills in all these little cracks, and it's like a wax. Gets rid of all the squeaks. Also, you should waterproof these. They will get water in them if you go in the water. Also, I did what Pirate did on YouTube. He's a e-scoot guy. I bought more of the silicone thermal pads right here to spread the heat out. So there's about 4 or 5 millimeters up here, and then there's one down here. It's just a 3 millimeter sheet. That way the controller can cool down. But yeah, just make sure you tighten everything down. I turned this instead of the clamp, the quick release clamp. I went ahead and put an M6 bolt with an M6 flange nut right here, and that helps get the clamp really good. You want to make sure you stay on these indexed holes here, so that if you do hit a rock, this doesn't rotate out and you lose control. So you want to stay in one of these holes for safety reasons. But yeah, it's a pretty cool scooter. It's very fast. You can expect, I'm 195 pounds. You can expect to do about 0 to 50 miles per hour in about 10 seconds. And then 0 to about 30. I think I can do it in about 3 or 4 seconds. So it's very fast, very quick. You want to learn how to move your weight around correctly when you're using it. It'd be nice if there was a foot, some kind of foot brace here that came with the scooter instead of some aftermarket items. But yeah, so the light I got on the front's kind of nice too, because I can quickly flip it to do like a like an orange light. It's nice and at night, or if it's a little wet out. Also, I did the silicone bead around here because there's nothing protecting the inside components from water. So I feel like that's pretty important. If you get any kind of water in there, it's going to stay in there, and you're going to be screwed. Make sure when you're riding it, you use mostly the front brake and just a little bit of the rear brake. You'll find out why, but it's just a tip. They're very powerful brakes. You can stop very fast if you want to, but you have to remember, if you go fast, it's going to take longer to stop, especially on a scooter where most of the braking is front bias, unless you can manage your weight distribution by leaning back a little bit. But when you're so high up on the scooter, what ends up happening is most of the weight leans forward towards the front wheel, and that's why I said use most of your back brake, or your rear tire will skid out, which is kind of cool, but not if you fall. The LEDs on the side are pretty sweet. Everyone loves those. Adds a little bit of flair to the scooter. Yeah, this thing's awesome. If you have the money to buy it for fun, I'd get it. As something that is practical, it's not really that practical for going to work or anything if you live really far away. I live about 9 miles away from my work, and I took it on the back roads to my work, and it was pretty fun, but it was really stressful too. So if you live somewhere where you can just maybe 3 or 4 miles, that's pretty good. Any more, then you start to get a little stressed about battery and also speed limit. The tires tend to vibrate. I don't know. I think it's the tires themselves are not balanced. These are pretty cheap tires. They're very sticky, and they're very good. They're very good at gripping, but I don't think they were properly balanced in the factory, because I think one side of them's heavier. I don't know how to balance them. So I know it's kind of information dump, but I just wanted to get it out there. There's a lot of reviews online. They're all in different languages, and and they always take forever, but it's a really good scooter once you get everything tuned in, dialed in. It is a Chinese scooter, so you have to be aware that there's a lot of things that you might have to fix or adjust or just tighten. Just go through everything. It might take you a month before you figure it all out. But yeah, it's a pretty fun scooter once you get used to it. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, I'll reply in the comments. Yeah, thank you. Bye.